Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Okay, this is part 2 of a 2-part series replacing the multifunction switch on this GM minivan. And a quick review of the tools that you'll need. Okay, so here's our original switch and lever, and new switch and lever from 1AAuto. You can see everything is the same on the replacement. Plastic's a little bit darker, but that's really not usually a big deal, especially if your old one's not working and your new one will be. All the connections are going to be the same and everything. Even has the correct connection for the cruise control. And for this vehicle, the original one is working fine, so I am going to reinstall it because I'm not one to, put in a part that doesn't need to be replaced. And reinstallation is just a reverse of the procedure. Okay, so what you're going to want to do here, there's a button right here for the horn that can get hung up incorrectly. So when you put this in, you want to kind of put it in tilted back and then rotate it forward and make sure it goes down into place correctly. Start the top one here. Okay. Start this. Okay, and as I'm trying to start this lower screw, I'm basically just shifting the switch a little bit to just shift the places to get the hole lined up, and then twisting the screw gently. This bolt should go pretty much straight in. Now I'm just using the T25 bit to keep it going. I'll use my wrench just like before. Okay, so I'll fast forward as I get that one started. So now I'm going to tighten up my top one since I have that one started. And then just crank away at the bottom one here. Now with the top tightened up, just fast forward through tightening up the bottom one. Okay, so now what we'll do is rehook everything up. First take our cruise control wire and pass it up over the steering column. Sorry about the shot here, not the best. Okay, and now connect it in here. Okay, and you can put that green lock in there. It's a little redundant, but we'll do that. Now, as far as these harnesses go, okay, they can only go in one way. So, your gray one, okay, we'll do the black one first. You can see it's got middle slots here. So it goes in on this side and slides back into place. Gray one comes underneath. Slides back into place. Reconnect that harness. Okay, we'll just fast forward through tightening that bolt up. Okay, and then let's get all our harnesses back into this loop at least. And lock it back on. And if you have a couple extra wire ties, you can secure it even better like it had before. Okay, now we're going to put our top cover back on. Okay, and as you're putting it on, make sure that you get the shift boot kind of up in there correctly. And then again, using our E5 bit here, start this screw down here.
Okay, we'll just speed it up as we just put those screws on, and then that one right up in there. Okay, reinsert your lock cylinder. There's a little triangle tab. Make sure the triangle tab that locks it in is pointing up. Okay, so now we're going to put the trim together, and if you don't take your whole dash apart, this is the part that's pretty tough. You can see that hook right there. You want to clip it into the upper trim of the steering column, and then on the other side, same thing. Hook it into the upper trim, and then pull it back. Okay, just make sure you get both sides. Kind of shooting this with one hand. So, and then on the other side, you need to make sure that, good shot of my chin, that you get it up and around the shift boot right there. So just make sure you feed it up and around that shift boot.
Okay, so as you push it up, make sure the shift boot goes up in there correctly. Okay, and then once you get it to a certain point, just make sure everything's lined up. Clip it back together. Whoops. Over here, make sure that's all set. Okay, back together. And then you can put your tilt lever back on. Okay. We can put our main dash piece back on. You're going to feed it down in like this. And you're going to have to pull out on the bottom a little bit. Kind of have to force it in on the top. Force it down in. Then I usually get the bottom clipped first, then clip the top. Okay, it's all set. This piece over here, you want to put in, okay, and then you want to press it in and down, and then lock the top.
Okay, so now you can release your steering wheel back up, and now fast forward through putting in those two T25 screws on the bottom trim panel. And now on this panel, you want to put it back in. There are two locating pins that go into holes in the dash, so you know you're putting it in the right spot. And then you clip the top in. Okay, and then you have your three 7mm screws at the bottom. And we'll put those in and fast forward through doing that. Okay, and then once you have those three screws tightened up, then you want to just push your push pins back in. Obviously, reconnect your battery, and you should be all set. We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.1aauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.